Oh, my goodness. Nothing like some green grass and high tides to encapsulate the summertime sentiments here in the fine city of Torrington. But even more so, what better way to encapsulate the sentiments of Torrington than by having none other than T-Boz back in the WAPJ studios bringing us words of wisdom and moments of meditation. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Williams, and I hope all of you just don't turn it on at 11 to 15. You have to listen to all of Jock's show. That last song by the Outlaws was such a rocker. Oh, I was dancing around in the kitchen here in the studio, what do we call this? The ad hoc studio or whatever. But what an awesome song, 4 guitars, the lead vocals. I hope everyone was catching that because that'll put you in the mood for what we're going to talk about today. But awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, Jock, for always playing a real hot tune before I come on. It gets me pumped up, ready for Friday Eve. Before we get into the topic and the shout-outs and all of that, remember these numbers, 211. These are cooling centers throughout the state, not 911, but 211. Don't be proud if you need cooling centers. If you know someone that does, please. That's what unity in the community is about. Remember those numbers, 211. The state has places for you to gather if you need to cool off in this heat wave. So please be advised. Now, we have a great topic for today. I feel it's a great topic. But before we get into the topic, let's get into the shout-outs. And I just want to say that I've missed all you guys. It's great to be here. Oh, some people are running in, Jock. Here they come. Over here, look, we got plenty of... Oh, it's my sister-in-law, Chris, down to make my brother's oatmeal. Come on, sit down in front. Oh, Barbara's always right in front. Come on in, Stan. Thank you for serving in the military. Just like, I guess because we went on early, they thought they had time to linger in the hall. Come on, everybody. Come on in. Yeah, I know. We were going to do the class outside today, but Jock thought it was just a tad warm, so we brought it inside. So enjoy the air conditioning. Get your pens and pencils, your drink of choice, and relax, and let's do this show. Just a quick programming note. The rabbitry and Pickney farms are very busy this time of year with a whole bunch of things, including mums and whatnot. So I spoke to Jock, and just until the middle of September, this segment will be an every other week format. Okay? Not that I don't want to do this show, but I do have so many responsibilities here at the farm. And so I thought if we can just do it every other week, and Jock said, okay, but you better get your butt in here every week once we get past the middle of September. So just make a scheduling note of that. Now, let's get into our shout-outs. Here we go. Yesterday was a big day, boys and girls, for the United States of America, 1969. I was 12 years old. And the great moon landing and moonwalking on the moon, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, Mike Collins, that was the team for the Apollo mission. And boys and girls, we're going to talk about blessings today. What a blessing. John F. Kennedy said that we will put a man on the moon by the end of this generation. What a great speech. And those of us who are my age, maybe a little younger and older, remember the TV sets coming into the classroom with rockets going off every week. There was a rocket. Those were the AV guys, which was audiovisual. There was the jocks. There was the theater group. There was, people that didn't do anything, and then there was the AV guys. Before they had HR, our first abbreviation was AV, and those guys rolled in the TV sets. Remember, Jock? And Apollo mission after Apollo mission. We were so proud to be an American and part of the space race, and watching the guys in Command Central in Houston with the black glasses, the black tie, Frank Reynolds on ABC News. They had the simulation of the spaceship going. It was a wonderful, wonderful time. And those of you who want to really capture that, go rent the movie The Right Stuff. Very quickly, Buzz Aldrin's real name was Edwin. we're going to start with him today. I'm going to work a little backwards, with Edwin. And he got the name Buzz because he had 2 younger sisters, and instead of calling him Brother Edwin, they used to call him Buzzard because they couldn't pronounce the word brother. And so Buzzard fell into Buzz, and so we had the great astronaut Buzz Aldrin. And he's going to kind of start us off. We're going to get back to the shout-outs, but we're going to start us off a little bit because you know me, I like to do things different. Our topic today is blessings, and he says, timing is everything. I've always been blessed to be at the right place at the right time. But notice what he says, I've always been blessed. He didn't say I've always been lucky or, you know, it was all about me. He realizes that his success through his hard work, and, you know, he was part of a military family and, you know, went through all of that, the rigid training of being an astronaut, but he was blessed. He doesn't say that he put himself in the right time. He worked towards it, but he was blessed. And so we thank Buzz Aldrin for kind of kicking off our topic today, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But what a great astronaut, what a great time in America to be alive and to see all of that. Next shout-out, great party at the Manor Inn, Veronica's big birthday party. I won't tell you how old she is, but a fabulous event that her sons and I put on for her, the Manor Inn. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a great place to have an event, fabulous place. And the icing on the cake, none other than, boys and girls, the guy behind the control board, Jock Williams, was our guest DJ, and he did a fabulous, fabulous job. Beautiful music, perfect dinner music, dance music. I had 3 key songs I wanted. He put them right where they were supposed to be, especially when we walked in. I asked for Mission Impossible theme, and he did a fabulous job. He actually does some singing along with the music, which was great. He and I did a little duet on Beginnings. He did a fabulous job. It was so nice to have him there. Veronica, I think she was happier to see him than me. But and we took a great photo, which is on my Facebook site. I'm the guy on the right, Jock's on the left, and Veronica's in the middle. So a big shout-out and a thank you to my good friend and a blessing for making the night so wonderful. And the next big announcement, the shout-out, is to my good friend, the wonderful James Boscarino. We know him as Jim, okay? And his beautiful bride-elect, Peggy O'Mara, they have announced that they will be getting married on the 19th of August. And boys and girls, I am so honored they asked me to be the best man. So I am thrilled, and that's also going to play into our blessing topic today. And so a big shout-out to them, and we're going to talk a little bit about their story in the program today, but a big shout-out and a thank you, and I am honored. I was the best man at my brother's wedding, and I haven't had the opportunity to do it again until now. And Jim and I are like brothers. And so I'm thrilled, happy for them, and I'm very honored to be part of their big day. So that's the shout-outs. Let's get into our format. So we already peeked under the tent, and we know it's going to be blessings, right? That's all blessings. We're going to talk about what Scripture, how Scripture designs and examples of blessings that we read in Scripture. We have a brief psychologist who we have some information by her about how important blessings are. And then the type of blessings, obviously family, friends, maybe your career, neighbor, things like that. We're going to talk about that. And then, of course, we have some famous people who highlight blessings, and then our takeaway, and we do have an awesome song, so I better get going because we want to get to the song. So let's get back into our topic. Thank you, Buzz, for kicking it off. Here we go. Blessing definition. God's favor and protection to us. Okay, that's what a blessing is. Very simply, God's blessing and protection and favor to us. The first blessing that God gave man is in the book of Genesis, chapter 1, verse 28, and it says, "Be fruitful and multiply, increase. The earth is yours and master it." So the first thing he gives us in blessings is the ability to recreate ourselves, to procreate along with him and his blessings. He gives us this beautiful planet that we need to preserve, and he tells us to master it. He doesn't tell us to ruin it, master it in terms of using it for crops and raising livestock and maybe having beautiful facilities like the Warner Theater where we can go see wonderful art and many other things that we have. Not all of the earth is always going to be natural. There are some beautiful places. Veronica and I, with friends of ours and my daughter, are going to be going to St. Augustine, the oldest city in the United States. And so there are some beautiful things on the earth. So God tells us to master it, but in that mastering, we have a responsibility. So that's our first blessing. Genesis chapter 12, verse 2. And now listen to this, because I'm going to highlight something here. And I will make of you a great nation. Now, I always love the word you in Scripture because it's personal. And think of the word nation as yourself, okay? And I will make of you a great nation, and I will bless you, okay? And I will bless you and make your name great. Your name Jim, your name Peggy, your name Jock, your name Veronica, your name Miles, your name Chris. I will make your name great. Isn't that amazing? And that you will be a blessing. And you might go and bless others. So though we are blessed, okay, we ask for blessings, our role in accepting that responsibility and that joy is to go and bless others. And so where it says, and I will make you a great nation, meaning you, personal, I love that. And that you will become a blessing to other people, all right? And as we work through our life and as we're helping other people, we have to realize that, a great saying I love, too much is given, much is to be expected. And, a lot of you may be saying, well, gee, T-Boz, why are we talking about blessings now? We've still got the pandemic. We've got that idiot Putin over there, these mass shootings. We have all of this stuff. Boys and girls, the world was always a terrible place. When my grandparents were raising 10 kids and the other one 5 kids in the middle of the Depression, the World War, and poverty and all of that, they didn't say, yippee-yi-yo-ki-yay, this is great. Okay? The world has always been a place of struggle, right? When sin and death entered the world, we have it. But what we do as faithful people is we have to acknowledge and see the blessings that we have within us, around us, to us. Because the evil one, that's what he wants to do. He wants to take our eyes off the prize and put it on all the things that bring us down. But we as faithful people want to rise above that. And so it tells us in Genesis, I will make you a great nation. We're all great, and we deserve the blessing that we get, but we need to be thankful for the blessings we get and have a sense of humility. Philippians chapter 4, verse 19, and my God will supply every need of yours according to his riches. What are his riches? His blessings. So every need. And a lot of times people, they get a little confused with blessings, okay? Blessings is not about wanting, I hope I'm blessed and I get the bigger house. Hope I'm blessed and I get the job. That's fine. Those are dreams, desires, that's fine. But the basis of blessing is to recognize the good things that you already have. I just mentioned my good friend Jim, okay, and Peggy, and Barbara, and Stan, and Fred, and Lucille, these people who may be listening today, is seeing the blessings that you already have. Father John Gassack says all the time, when we're looking for the boom, we miss the whisper, okay? So in the friendship that Jock and I have, the fact that he was able to do Veronica's party, that's a blessing. Some of us, not that we're raising our sights too high, but we think it's going to be this euphoric thing. But God is omnipresent. God is in the sunshine. God is in the green, as Jock was just saying. God is in the river that flows under Cornwall Bridge out there by Sharon. Okay, God is in all of that. You've got to see the blessings in the smile of your grandson's face, your granddaughter's face. It's all around you. But what happens is we get so focused on all the miseries in the world that we miss that. We become downtrodden. And our faith doesn't teach us to be downtrodden. It teaches us to be strong. All right, we go down to Richard. We're going to jump over to Ephesians, and then we're going to get to Richard Pryor. Ephesians chapter 3, verse 20. Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly than all that we ask for, think, and think about according to the power within us. So blessings, we talk about this, is a power within us. So it says in Ephesians that he is able to do more, all right, far more than we could ever imagine. And I think we have time. Why don't we do the break, Jock, and then I want to get into Richard Pryor. Jock, are we going to do the break or should I keep going?
We are going to do the break.
Okay.
We want to take this opportunity to thank and recognize our very kind and generous sponsors for everything that they do for us here at WAPJ, including allowing us to bring you the quality community radio programming that we're bringing to you now. So we want to take this opportunity to say thank you to the Nutmeg Conservatory for the Arts, Torrington Savings Bank, TDI, Torrington Distributors Incorporated, and Charlotte Hungerford Hospital. Thank you so much for helping WAPJ continue to celebrate 25 years of broadcast service to the Torrington community and now beyond. So we want to thank you, T-Boz, for your contributions to the station, and we will now turn the floor back over to you.
Thank you, sir. Again, let's review Ephesians real quick. Now to him, that's God, who is able to do far more abundantly, as they say in Italian, abundans, abundantly, than all that we ask for or think according to the power within us. So he can do far more with the power within us. Now think of the word think. Now we go over to Richard Pryor, and he says about blessings, I believe the ability to think is blessed. Now Pryor is saying exactly what Ephesians says. Thinking is important. Think is blessed. If you can think about a situation, you can deal with it. The big struggle is to keep your head clear so you can think clearly and get out of the problems and think of what you have. So what he's saying is the same thing saying in Ephesians. In other words, our ability to think. The biggest struggle is keeping your head clear, okay? And so you can begin as you think, as we just said, of all these terrible things that happen in your world, but think and focus on your blessings that you already have, and others will come, obviously, through your life. But Richard Price is being able to think. What he's saying is being able to focus on good things, being able to realize good things. That's a blessing in itself. We go over to 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 9. Do not repay evil with evil or reviling with reviling, but on the contrary, bless, right? Yes, on the contrary, bless, for to this you were called, that you may obtain a blessing. So do not repay evil with evil, which is what we're talking about. Reviling. This is how you've been called. You've been called to be a blessing. So on the contrary, don't do what you think you want to do, what everyone else does. You want to be a blessing to people. You want to be, as it says in Matthew, blessed are the peacemakers. Be a blessing to other people. A lot of times people want to be blessed, but to be a blessing to other people, to overcome feelings of feeling non-blessed. Sometimes people feel, oh, I'm not blessed. To overcome those feelings, be a blessing. Visit a friend, call a friend, people who are marginalized, people who are maybe handicapped like myself or age. Offer to help a neighbor or a family member. Maybe cook a meal, make some brownies. Give an honest compliment to someone. Gee, I love the way your yard looks. Or gee, really nice how you have your dog groomed. Whatever. Something small, okay? It doesn't always have to be a big thing. But as you be a blessing to other people, you too will be blessed. Say thank you. We're going to talk about thank you in a minute. I got a big thank you today. We're going to talk about that, okay? And offer to go to a doctor visit with someone, all right? Basically, to be a blessing to someone else, you got to get out of yourself. And as you be a blessing to others, you will so be blessed, just as it says in Philippians. We have Leslie Becker Phelps, who is a PhD in psychology, and she says to see and feel blessings in life, you need to, what we've been talking about, focus on positive things. Okay, if you have a beautiful yard or a plant or your pet or your child or maybe something you have or the sunshine or the river and all those things we talked about before, focus on those things. okay? And then, as she says, shift your focus on your inner experiences when you notice those things. So as you notice things that give you joy, as you notice things that make you happy, make you feel blessed, get away from the negative, shift to that experience, and realize how blessed you are. She also goes on to say, and linger on that experience. It could even be a nice memory. You could say, gee, I remember a trip we took, or I remember a party like we had with Veronica this weekend, or I remember like when all of my friends that I met in bereavement were single and we used to go to Big Y and have coffee. You know, sometimes you can go back to that and say, gee, what a good time we had helping each other, being with each other, being a blessing to each other, and linger on that a little bit, okay? And that's what Phelps encourages us to do. And then even if it's for a blip, she says, it still strengthens you as you move forward and realizing what a blessed life you have and the blessings that you have and will come to you. Journey Smollett-Bell. Okay, she's an actress, an award-winning actress, and I love what she says here. We're going to talk about this. I walk in a space of gratitude. Boom. We do not live in a world of gratitude. We live in a world of I want, I expect it, I want. I love what she says, I walk in a space of gratitude. So when you're walking, you're moving, right? So basically, as she's moving, she's like in this box, if you will, this space of gratitude. And so if she's always in gratitude, then she's feeling blessed. She says that she's blessed for the family she has and to be able to do the thing she loves, which is acting. But she's thankful for what she has. A lot of us have things and people in our lives, not only things, but people in our lives. I mentioned my friend Tom Trommer's out there fixing some rabbit cages, my friend Bill Loader, okay? My friend Fred, right? We have people, not always things, but we have people in our lives that we need to be thankful for. We need to walk in a space of gratitude. And as we jump down, Henry Ward Beecher, I love what he says, and then we're going to get into a card that came in the mail. He says, the unthankful heart discovers no mercies, but the thankful heart will find in every hour some heavenly blessings. Wow. Now, Veronica and I are a couple. We're together. I did this party we talked about. You know what came in the mail about 5 minutes ago from Veronica? A thank you card to her boyfriend. Think about that for a minute. Isn't it nice to go out to the mailbox and see something but bills? And the card, the whole cover of the card, talks all about blessings. I'm not making this stuff up, boys and girls. So she felt blessed. I mean, I'm the boyfriend, right? Not that she expected it, but she thanked me many times over the weekend for the wonderful time she had. And in most cases, that would be enough. But in her heart, walking in a space of gratitude, what Pryor says, thinking, because her mind is thinking about how much she has a wonderful relationship with me and the time she had. And so her head is clear, right? Be a blessing to others, as it says in Ephesians. So what does she do? She goes to the store and she buys. She doesn't just send it on Facebook and the internet. She has to get out of her car, go to the store, get the card, come back, put a stamp on it, mail it. The thankful heart will see heavenly blessings. That's what this whole show today is about. Do you know how good I felt when I got that card? Imagine that. The woman in my life took the time to go get me a card for giving her the party. The thankful heart. The thankful heart. Muriel Ruckisher, what she says is nourished beginnings. I love that. Nourished beginnings, things that are new, like Jim and Peggy. We're going to get in that in a minute. Let us nourish beginnings. Not all things are blessed. But the seeds of all things are blessed. The blessing is in the seeds. Wow. The seed. Jim and Peg are starting a new life. the blessing is in the seed, right? When you put a seed in the ground, you have to nourish it and water it in order for it to grow. Jim knows that, and Peggy, they're avid gardeners just like my brother. You got to see the flowers that they have. And that's another thing. Jim has a beautiful yard, and so does my brother, but just don't keep it to themselves. They shared it with all of us at a picnic they had. So they're blessings of their friendship, and then also them giving us joy by the beautiful flowers and arrangements that they did. But in getting back to them as a couple, so the blessings in the seed. So as they met, it's like a tiny seed, and they nourished it. And I know how they nourished it. And it wasn't easy for them to nourish it. This is a couple who had come through widowship. I walked the walk with them. They had to get over grief. They had to get over pain. They had to get over doing things new again. They had to get over and getting used to each other. But all the time they felt blessed. And so the blessings that they saw in each other, the blessings that they felt from their friends and family that were nourishing new beginnings, got them to the point where they are today, where they're going to enjoy and have the sacrament of marriage. Blessings don't always, people will look at them and say, oh, Jim and Peggy are blessed. Jim and Peggy, yeah, they are blessed. They are blessed. But they're blessed because of something that Mark Twain said, and I love this. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Boom. In other words, they fought, not in the military sense, but they fought through the negative things that may have been coming at them that I know because I walked the same walk with them. All that stuff, they got through it. Why? Because they have faith in God. 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 16. Don't you know you are God's temple? God is in your midst. Jim and Peggy are very faithful, always knew that God was in their midst. So it's not the size of the dog in the fight, but it was the fight in the dog. The two of them had the desire. They had the faith. They had the fight to recognize the blessings in the friends that they had to get to where they are today. So we're not to envy them. We're to honor them because they are symbols and pillars of our faith. They recognize their blessings, and they're blessed again. And they've been blessings to other people. Jim has been more than a friend to me. I said this the other day. In my life, I had guys that were associates, but I never had guy friends. And I got a bunch of them now. One guy's out there fixing a rabbit cage, Tom Tromba. The other guy's in Georgia, Bill Loader. Next guy's getting married, not in order, Jim Boscarino. The other guy takes me for walks at Norton Park, Fred. I have real guy friends. So in the sense that I lost my wife, right, God blessed me with all of this. Now, when you talk about blessings, in Jim and Peggy's case, did God say abracadabra and heal their spouses of cancer? No. So the devil would say they weren't blessed. But what God did do, going right back to our definition about God's protection and favor, what God did do was say to the two of them, enough pain. There's someone now for you to take you the rest of the way, Jim. There's someone now, Peggy, to take you the rest of the way. And so they put their faith in their hand in God, and so they're where they are. So sometimes we think that blessings is abracadabra, someone's going to be healed. There are healings, but sometimes the blessing is a little further down the road, and we have to have the patience for that. We have to have the patience for that. Friends are blessings. Balthazar Grecian, who was born in 1601, he was a Jesuit, Spanish Jesuit writer and philosopher, says, without friends is like life on a desert island. To find one real good friend is good fortune. To keep him is a blessing. Boom. To find one good friend is good fortune. But to keep him, why? You keep them because you care for them. You are a blessing as they are to you. Blessings is a two-way street, boys and girls. It's not a one-way thing. Thomas Morrison, who's an English actor, says that a lot, and I want to cover some other things to go quick. I'll shorten his quote, but basically he says that he doesn't focus on negative things, and he looks for blessings in the most minute, small things in life. And isn't that so true? As we said, the boom and the whisper. You know, yeah, it's hot today, and it's going to be hot tomorrow. But the sun is shining. You can sit in the shade, okay? You can go to the water and put your feet in the water. You can't do that in February. So look for blessings in your life. Our good friend Willie Nelson, on the road again. I'm looking on the road again. He says, when I started counting my blessings, my whole life turned around. Are we recognizing our blessings? Are we acknowledging our blessings? Are we aware of our blessings? Are we truly thankful? Are we truly feeling blessed, as my friend Jim and Peggy are feeling? Or the way I feel, the fact that I have this wonderful woman in my life and she sends me a card. Are we acknowledging our blessings that my good friend Jock Williams was able to be the DJ for us? Are we acknowledging those things, or are we overlooking those things because we got to, keep moving along? Luke chapter 6, I'm going to go through these quick. Luke chapter 6, verse 38, give and it will be given to you. You know why a lot of people don't go to church or temple or whatever? Because the lesson is hard. Give as it has been given to you. As you have been measured, as you measure, so will you be measured. Luke chapter 6, verse 27, but I say to you who hear, love your enemies, do good to those who hate you, bless those who curse you. Boom. Are we that big of a blessed heart that we can do that? That goes back to the fight in the dog. Do we have enough fight that when we want to lash out, or we want to be envious, we want to be jealous, or we want, or we have enough fight in us to say, we'll bless those who curse us, and we'll have eyes and ears that hear. Jesus says, bless those who hear and have eyes and ears that hear and see. Go read the Beatitudes. We don't have time for that. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for they will inherit the earth. Blessings are so key. Here's one my friend Barbara is going to love. Bennett Church. And he actually started Random House. He says a person who can bring laughter into a room is blessed. And she's nodding her head. And when we all met, one gift that God has given me is the ability to make people laugh and have a good time. And we walked through hell laughing. I know that sounds bizarre to some of you, but by the grace of God, I was able to help my friends. I tried in my own way to be a blessing as they are to me. We have just one takeaway today, and I think it says it all, because, Jock, we have to be on time. Jock has taught me, because we got to make room for the next show and the song. So we have one takeaway, and it's from Camille Pissarro. And what she says, and I think this wraps it up. There was nothing I could find that could top this. Blessed are they who see beautiful places where other people see nothing. Boom. Do we see nothing because it's not money? Do we see nothing because our house isn't big? Do we see nothing because our car is 10 years old? Do we see nothing because we're a little overweight? Do we see nothing because the lady down the street's son just got a scholarship to Yale? Or do we see the beautiful places or things in our own lives that God has given to us? Right what it says in the beginning, I have made you a wonderful nation, you a great nation. As you have been blessed, go and bless others. There are blessings all around us. Yes, there are terrible times around us. I'm not putting my head in the sand. But there are beautiful people, beautiful land, and beautiful things around us that God has created for us to have faith and to persevere. Jock, you want to tie a bow, and then we'll get to that awesome song.
I think the most poignant part of your discussion today was the fact that, yeah, we all want to be blessed, but the best way to get that blessing is to be a blessing to others. Come out of your comfort zone and engage your community, your neighbors. Open up to those family members who you may think have very vicarious ways. But open up, because what that does is it allows that person to reconcile within themselves those things that they might need help with, or want to be blessed with, or need to be forgiven about. So the blessings go two ways, and I think that God has created a wonderful system here for us, because not only can we receive from him, but we can even be a bigger blessing to those around us. And that's an awesome responsibility that hopefully we can handle with grace.
And I believe, Jock, that you and I are preaching to the choir. I think everyone in the classroom today has that ability and that gift to go out today and bless someone. And as you said, and as I said, with simple things. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to be Oprah Winfrey and buy people cars, but that's her gift, and that's what God asked of her. But it's just as good that for the old lady down the street, if you bring her garbage can in. It's the same thing. When God looks at Oprah Winfrey's car and the garbage can coming in, to him it's all the same.
And just a note here. It's a pretty cool system that has been set up here, because you don't have to wait to be blessed. You can, if you want to be blessed 20 times today, all you have to do is bless someone 20 times. And God is not like a tit for tat. You do one blessing, he might give you 50.
Right.
So you can't. It's not a scorecard that's being kept. Okay.
Exactly.
And you don't know that gesture that you may do to someone, how big of an impact that it may really have.
You don't know.
So the best thing to do is just open up your hearts, open up your mind, and make that choice that you're going to be someone who's going to be a vessel, to be a peacemaker and a blessing to others.
Very well said. Thank you for having me on the show. Thank you, everyone. Again, write down in your notebooks, not next week, but the week after. And Friday Eve, drink water, stay hydrated, 211. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend coming up. It's Friday Eve. Bye-bye.